Hey everybody, welcome to Tribal Trades, another episode of Tribal Trades, the daily show. Wherever you're tuning in from around the world, welcome. Hope all those that celebrated July 4th had a great July 4th day with family and friends. As I kind of advised in the days before, to make sure you had all your buy and your sell orders in play, because we had a little bit of a crypto drop, crash, fire sale. And hopefully you picked up some cryptos. I know in the Discord, and if you haven't joined the Discord, check out www.stockswithjosh.com. There were lots of people reporting what coins they were buying at what prices. So I know that people did pick up some coins and dollar cost average in. And also, look, if you haven't hit the like, please hit the like. It helps get this content out to more people. Smash that like, as you say. Show the channel some love, leave some comments and questions. I really appreciate those, and I look to get back to all of those as soon as possible. And if you haven't joined our ever-growing community, you can click on the subscribe button there. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin, and as usual, this is not financial advice, not a financial advisor, just for education and entertainment purposes only. Also, please check out a ton of links. I get asked on YouTube and Discord all the time about certain things, and all of these links about which exchanges and about VPNs, NordVPNs, and so forth. Just check that all out in the links below in the description. Okay, so we're going to jump into Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about some thoughts and some news events. So let's jump into the first thing, that the Bitcoin, the record run is over. It's over. Bitcoin's all-time longest winning streak has just ended, 427 days without a 25% drawdown. Now we've had one. Beat the 2012 record by 63 days. Pretty incredible run, and we're overdue for a correction. Okay, and what was the result of the correction? It was because of Mt. Gox. Okay, so Mt. Gox was the reason why. But before we jump into Mt. Gox, we're going to talk about funding rates, and we're going to talk about local bottoms. Because here's the thing, in my life-changing gains series, which is available for free on this YouTube channel, I have a 5-part series, Life-Changing Gains. Episode 4, I talk about how to identify local bottoms, and funding rates is one of those identifiers. That's why I had buy orders in place yesterday, ready to go. I was actually in an area for about 4 or 5 hours where I had no service, and I didn't even know it was going on, but I wasn't worried because I knew I had my buy orders all stacked and ready to buy. And when I came back into regular sell coverage, I was able to see what got hit and what buys were made and where everything was in the market. And so, I teach you not to panic sell or to panic buy, but to have clear goals about which coins you're going to buy, what prices you're going to buy at, what prices you're going to sell, and have all of that set up in advance. So the funding rates went extremely negative, and you can see whenever it has gone negative, has been good buying opportunities. Here it went negative, and boop, we went up. Here it was negative, and look at this massive rise that we saw here. And again, funding rates went negative around here, and then we took off up to here. So funding rates is one of the things. The other ones that I teach on is the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, which, as we can see here, whenever it is at 29 right now, let's just scroll down. Yep, they're 29 in fear. But whenever, so that's yellow. Okay, so we look for yellow. When has it been yellow? Oh, look, when it was 26,000, we were in fear and off we went. We had a little bit of yellow here, 26, 26, 27. We had some yellow there. We came actually into extreme fear down to 15,000. These were all incredible buying opportunities. There was a little bit more fear here, just right here, and the price was 41, and then we jumped as well. And then we had another dip down here to 56 in fear, and now we're in fear again. So ding, ding, we got 2 of the indicators that I use for local bottoms that have both flashed here, fear and also the funding rates. And also one of the other ones I teach on is the open interest. And the open interest is the level of money in leverage trading. And so you can see here that, well, we have a drop. We found a bit of a bottom. Oh, lo and behold, look what happens here. Look what happens here. And funding rates, sorry, not funding rates, but the open interest has stayed pretty low here while the price has gone up. That's quite a good sign there. So the local bottom. So check out those videos. Check out the educational content that I make for you guys to really help you guys out there with your trading, okay? So let's jump into some of the Mt. Gox news here. So the first one we have here by Marty Party Music. I don't know if that's a good English accent. I know some of you are from England, and I deeply apologize for that, unless it was good, and then I don't apologize. Okay, so Marty Party here, Mt. Gox, the timeline. Look, so here's the thing. Mt. Gox, there wasn't even any of the Mt. Gox Bitcoin sold that I am aware of. It was just distributed. Mt. Gox Credit distributed to the exchanges to be sold. Some people ask on the Discord, hey, when is the Mt. Gox selling going to stop? It hasn't even started yet. Maybe today there was some selling. I'm not sure. But if you're smart and you know the market, you're probably not selling right away. If you watch my life-changing games videos, you'll probably realize, hey, this could be a bit of a local bottom, and we might be better to wait and before we sell. But the timeline for creditors here, very simple. Kraken has 90 days, Bitstamp has 60 days, and you can see on. So it's those Bitcoin are going to be distributed to people over a 90-day period. Okay, so that's number one. I think we need to understand that. Number two, if we come and look at here, that similar stuff here. So Mt. Gox has 141,000 Bitcoin. Just to put that in perspective, BlackRock alone has 300,000 Bitcoin, have accumulated 300,000 Bitcoin over the last, 6 months? So about 50,000 Bitcoin alone per month. Number two, it's very important. This distribution is going to happen in 3 phases. In the first phase, which is the early payment, we're in this phase here, the early payment, 90 days, they're only going to be distributing half of that, which is $70,000, okay? $70,000, or I wish it was $70,000, 70,000 Bitcoin, okay? And so now we're breaking it down saying, oh, okay, actually the Mt. Gox is going to distribute only 70,000 Bitcoin over 3 months. Thirdly, and then there's an intermediate payment, and then there's a final payment years later. So I'm not super concerned about those ones. 70,000 Bitcoin. But then how many of those Bitcoin are people going to sell? Now, some Mt. Gox creditors sold their claims to claims agents, because claims agents swooped on them and said, hey, at the time, the Bitcoin was only worth about $600. Oh, we'll give you $2,000 for this. And you sell your claim to us, $2,000 per Bitcoin, and go, oh, wow, that's triple the price. We don't know what Bitcoin's doing. It's only at $600. People are going to go, in 2014, it's only 4 years old. They may have sold their claims to claims agents. Those claims agents for sure are going to sell that Bitcoin. Massive profit, by the way. And we don't know what the claims agents people offered. So there's no judgment for those people who took the money. But then there are people who have held for 10 years waiting for their claim to realize a massive gain from $600 to sitting at around $55,000, $56,000 right now. Okay, so there was apparently there was a survey, and about 10 or 20% of the Mt. Gox people said that they were going to sell. I don't know how legit that survey is or how real that is when you actually get the money. Are people going to hold it and then sell later? Are they going to sell it all right away? Are they going to hold some and sell some? Are they going to dollar cost average out like I teach? Which is the way that I would, if you're a Mt. Gox recipient, I would say, hey, I would look at dollar cost averaging and taking profit at the take profit levels. Okay, so that's very interesting. So there's only so BlackRock alone, all the ETFs alone hold about 800,000 Bitcoin. So really 70,000 is only about 10% of that. So the ETFs have been really scooping up a lot of the Bitcoin that comes into the market. But let's just say only, like as this Twitter account has said, let's just say that maybe only 50% of those coins will be sold. Let's assuming that's only 35,700 Bitcoin, only $2 billion. So we're just putting in perspective, because there's no way that everybody's going to sell that Bitcoin, that all 71,000 Bitcoin are going to be sold. There are going to be some real diamond hand hodlers there that are not going to sell, and they're going to hold. So I do want to give a bit of perspective to the market there, and you can check this out and have a look at that. But I do want to bring a bit of perspective. And then you've got the German government that holds 40,000 Bitcoin, and there's an MP, a German member of parliament, has absolutely slammed the government, urging them to hold as strategic words as reserve. This is only just a fairly recent thing, news report. So let's just see what happens with that. Will the German government hold off and keep some back? Will they change their mind? We're not sure. But either way, 40,000 Bitcoin, that's it. That's, BlackRock on average have been scooping up about that each month. So I just think it's a lot of it is very heavily fear based in the market. And I do think we have to be very careful that we have a good perspective. And that's what I want to bring, a good balanced perspective. Number one, Mt. Gox, 3 months, these coins are going to be distributed. That's just distributed in 3 months. And then it's only 70,000 coins. And then how many of those 70,000 coins are going to be sold into the market? And they're not going to, even if they are, because they're being distributed over a 3-month period, over a 9-day period, they're not going to be sold off in the market right away. I feel that there needs to be a little bit of a rebalance of the market. As you see in 2019 here, all over again, are we seeing a repeat here of 2019, 2024? Very interesting chart here. Maybe we are, maybe we will see, and then it's just time to actually take off. We've also got to understand, this is why I was saying I feel it's a black swan event in my opinion, because this sell-off was only matched by FTX collapse. This is the second largest liquidation event in Bitcoin's entire history. Okay, in entire history, we can see that since FTX, and FTX I think was a bit of a black swan event. So I think we've seen a little bit of a black swan event. Again, I'm trying to bring perspective to the market so that people can kind of take a step back. All that fear that came in yesterday on July 4th, what are the facts? And let's look at the facts. And the facts was this was a bit of a black swan event, and I believe it was a great buying opportunity. I'm not saying that the bottom is in, but I certainly feel that it's likely in, and if it's not in, then I feel that we're pretty close to it. I definitely think, I 100% will say it was a great dollar cost average day for me. I enjoyed picking up some coins at lower levels there, and I'll share some of those at some point. Okay, so the next little bit of news article that we have here is the last time the RSI was below 30 was a bottom. Boom, boom, boom. We've seen that. So historically, when we've seen the relative strength index go and find a bottom, we've had big appreciation, big appreciation. Will this time be any different? And then also, if we look at Ethereum and the alts here, the altcoins, they've reached their lowest RSI since August 2023, and altcoins have reached their lowest RSI daily ever, or of the cycle. So again, I feel like if you're not going to pick up something, and no one's saying go all in at these levels, but certainly, I was looking to, this was DCA. It just made sense to me that this would be a good dollar cost average level into Ethereum and into some altcoins as well. And then we have, of course, the total three, which is minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. The whole altcoin market was at 25. I'm not sure if it's there right now. I think there's been a bit of a bounce, but this happened only 4 times in the last 4 years, and that this has happened. And each time there, you can see on the chart what has happened as a result there. And the 71% drop on RSI in the last 3 months is only comparable with the COVID crash of March 2020. Again, I feel this was a black swan event, a highly manipulated event. I've shared about this yesterday, maybe the day before as well, with the ETH ETF upcoming. I feel that this was a little bit of market manipulation going on here. And I certainly did not panic sell. I certainly did sell some tokens, but rolled them into stronger tokens, okay? And that's important. There's a big difference in that, and I'll explain that in a moment. Okay, so, and then lastly here, the last little bit of news event that we have here is that 14 billions of shorts will be liquidated when Bitcoin goes to 70,000, 22 billion if we get back to the previous all-time high, almost no longs remain. So the market is very short-sighted. Usually when that is the case, the market begins to take off. So now it can, because the market just flushed out all the longs leverage, and now I think we could be heading up and flushing out those shorts. But let's see what plays out. Let's see what plays out. We're going to jump into the charts here and look at the Bitcoin chart. Oh, yep, there's the Bitcoin chart there. And so I'm just going to, this is really just a continuation of what I've been saying for some time here. There is the bullish divergence is still playing out on the daily time frame here for now. I'll keep you updated with that if that changes. But certainly we've seen a lower low here, and we've seen a lower high in the RSI. That if this RSI comes down, that is going to invalidate that. So let's see if that plays out. Right now, it is still in play for now. It doesn't mean that it's going to play out, and it doesn't tell us, even if it does play out, how soon that's going to play out. But we do have a little bit of a stochastic RSI, and this is what also leads me to Black Swan. This has never happened before in Bitcoin's history, when we've broken through this lower 20 RSI line with the blue going over the red and then come back under it again. It's never happened in Bitcoin's history. So that's fairly bearish for me, because that's never happened before, but I do think it's a Black Swan event, and I think it would not normally have happened. So I'll be looking for this to push back above and break through and actually continue on like it should have here without this Black Swan event here. Okay, so what are we looking at in the Bitcoin charts here? Really, it's just the same as I've kind of been saying all along, is 50-day moving average. If we are above it, I am bullish. If we are below it, I am bearish. It's really that simple, okay? I am either bullish or bearish, depending upon how that we are interacting with that 50-day moving average. So that's a critical area that I'm looking for, okay? And that's currently sitting at about 66,000 and change. Then we have the 200 EMA, and the 200 EMA, we have broken through this. Now, can we go lower to the lower areas on the charts around the 50K level? Yeah, we could. I think it's more likely that we would come back up and retest this 200 EMA first at around 58,000 and change. And if we get rejected, then the possibility becomes obviously higher that we can come down and test this 49 to 51, 52,000 range down here. Or obviously if we come back and retest this and go above that and then retest it, then obviously then this local low put in a higher low, and then this would look to be, and look, we could have a little bit of inverse head and shoulders if we come down here and then we come back and back test this trend line, and then look there, the neckline would be pretty close to the 50-day moving average, and then obviously busting through that would give some upside. I'm still on my timeline for pushing out of this kind of accumulation area around late July, early August here. We'll see how that plays out. Maybe middle August here we could come out to, but let's see how that plays out. So I'm fairly optimistic. Certainly, I had been saying yesterday that I thought 55, 56 would be the local bottom, and that maybe we would wick under that and then come back up, and that I could see a wick coming down to like the 52. We did wick down to 53, so just didn't quite get to that 52, 51 wick. And so let's see if that plays out here, but certainly that's kind of where I see it happens. Look, if we do get down to here, to the 49 to 52K level, I would be very shocked if we went any lower than that. So there are some people calling for 40, 41, 42, 43K Bitcoin. Look, while anything's possible, I do feel that is very unlikely and would certainly be very much out of line with my thinking on that. So that's kind of the way that I'm viewing that. I've kind of looked at this 55, 56K level here. This 200 EMA has been just rock solid support for this bull run. This is a little bit of a bull market band here, and so we really do need to hold this. We have gone below it before back in October, and we were underneath it. So there's a possibility that we could stay underneath it and just chop around here for a little bit before breaking out. We certainly haven't come back and tested this trend line here, which I'm not concerned. Like if we were to come down and hit this area here, this trend line, I would expect us to eventually come back up and break above this. So that's why I like the dollar cost average hodling strategy. You just dollar cost average in, you buy at the levels, and then you just patiently wait until it eventually breaks back up, and then you take profits on the way up there. And I'm going to wrap it up there on Bitcoin, and I hope you enjoyed the video today. So, as always, thank you for joining the show, and until the next episode, happy trading.